Hi, it's Trish from Imaginary Photography here in Sydney, home of Imaginary Portraits and Imaginary Secrets. Now today I'm going to be working on editing a backlit photo. I'm going to be going for a natural type of edit. This edit isn't very long. My philosophy has always been get it right in camera, and I think that's exactly what I did here, but I'll take you through it. It's currently opened in Adobe Camera Raw or ACR, which is what I use to open up my dynamic ranges if I need to, and start the editing process. Now, welcome back from Easter. I slept through all of Easter. As you can tell by the bags under my eyes, I think I need to drink more water. And I have my lovely tea over here. Yeah. All right, so let's have a look at this image. I'm just going to bring it a little bit closer for you. So the aim of doing this type of backlighting, especially when it comes to boudoir and intimate portraits, is you really want that wraparound from the backlighting to give you shape and curve. So for example, if we go down here, like that highlight is pretty much spot on. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that extra shape on the face. I love those highlights around. Sometimes I'll, turn the model a little bit so I get a nice little highlight on the cheek, which I have done. I'm happy with that one. I don't need to change anything on this particular photo. Again, it's a raw. This is straight out of camera. This is how I captured this photo. So obviously I need to clean up the background, which is pretty easy to do. What I have done is I've opened up or really brought out the highlights, which is what I want with this photo. I want these highlights to stand out, so I've gone all the way across. I'm not going to open up shadows. I don't want to. I like the way the image has been captured as is. I did add a little bit more blacks to it. Not that much. I mean, I don't really need to. It's personal preference of what your vision is from the photo right now. Either way, basically that's all I've done to my raw image. I've opened up the highlights, brought in the blacks a little bit, and that's it. There is nothing else. As you can see, I even left the white balance as it is. I think the white balance is perfectly okay. I might bring it up a little bit on the warm side. I want that red to look like a red. There you go, that's it. Okay, let's move on to Photoshop. So let's open that up. And there we go. And there's me in the corner, in the way, as I am. Move myself. Alright, this is going to be awkward. Alright, so I've actually downloaded the neural filters, but I don't think I need them today. Because I mean, I'm not really doing a beauty shot close up to the face. So I will run my frequency separation action just to clean up the tones a bit. So let's have a look at the tones. So I turn off my skin texture layer. As a side note about releasing my frequency separation action, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it without an instructional video, because that's what's holding me back right now. Like, the action's ready to go, uploaded and ready for sale, but I keep thinking I have to do an instruction video to accompany it, and I don't think I will. Effort I don't want to spend right now, maybe later. Okay, so I go to my brush, as I always do. I'm going to my skin tone blend mask, not the layer. White brush at 60% opacity is what I usually use for the skin tone blend layer, and I simply paint on. Just to tone out, blend the tones as I do. Let's go up a little bit. It's not really much to tone out in this one. Let's have a look at the texture. So the texture will probably soften up a little bit. So I will go to J for my patch tool, select, drag and drop, and then what I will simply do is go to my mask, not the layer but the mask, black brush at 30% opacity this time, and this is what softens the skin texture. but still retains it, if you know what I mean. Honestly, with this photo, it's going on the web. I don't need to go to this much detail, but I like to have things ready for print, so if I'm going to print this, I would go to this much detail, so I prefer to have it ready for print, to be honest. I'm just a sucker for being a perfectionist. It sucks. You know, 80% is good enough, not for crazy women. Alright, so yeah, so all I'm doing here is, again, it's a black brush on the mask, not the layer, at 30% opacity, and I'm simply brushing off some of the skin texture to smooth out the skin. Ali, you are stunning. Perfection. Such a wonderful model. Facial expression spot on. Okay, so that's it. Before and after, before and after. Happy with that. Alright, so the next thing I really want to do is clean up the background. And to clean up the background, all I'm going to do is add in a blank layer over the top and take a white brush at 100% opacity and simply paint. I will do this on a separate layer just in case I fuck up and I need to bring the background back. So let's do this. So Control Shift N will create a new layer for you. Then we go to brush. Brush will be at 100% opacity. I've got to stop saying I'm saying a lot. It's probably a lack of sleep or too much sleep. Okay, I will do I for eyedropper to simply select the colour of the background, go back to B for brush, and simply brush on. And brush off in this case. So it's just, let's not complicate things, let's make things as simple as possible. It's a white background, just brush it on. So that's my layer. One of the things I like to do to ensure that I've actually cleaned up the layer properly is to click on this adjustment layer called brightness and contrast, and then what I do is if I'm working with a dark background, I will increase the brightness. If I'm working with this kind of background, I will drop the brightness. So as you can see, I've missed some points or some areas with my brushing, and because I've dropped the brightness, I can now find out where that was, and then I can take my brush back to my background layer where I've painted everything white, and just get my brush again at 100% opacity in white and paint over it some more. And yeah, that just ensures that, you know, you haven't missed anything. And while you can't really see it sometimes, on certain screens it will pop up. If you print, those little things that you miss will pop up. So it's always good to check that you've cleaned up the background correctly. I'll move myself across a little bit. There you go. Alright, so that's done. That's the cleanup. That's really that simple. So what I'm going to do now is a bit of dodge and burn. The dodge and burn that I am doing is a little bit different today. It's simply creating a layer. So once again, I'll do it manually. I actually have an action for this that is ready to go, but I'll take you through my dodge and burn process. It's a little bit different. Control Shift N to create another layer. Then I'm going to change the blend type to soft light. Then I'm going to take my brush, so B for brush, make it small. I am going to be using 30% opacity. Okay, so again, it's a white brush. I'm always working with a soft brush. So white soft brush at 30% opacity, and on the actual layer itself, which the blend mode is soft light, I'm going to paint on some highlights. Alright, so let's have a look at what that looks like. Alright, so paint on. Oops, my hand's a bit shaky today. So I'm going to bring in some highlights here. Bring a little highlight here. And maybe a little bit right on that. So let me show you the before and after. So you can see the highlights coming up now. So the next step I will take is actually to blur that out. So I'm going to go to my filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then change the radius of the blur, and I'm thinking 4 looks good to me. So again, the before and the after, you probably want a little bit more blur on this part, but I'm liking this sort of a highlight here. It's awesome, love it. Okay, what I might do is add a mask and with a black brush at 30% opacity, maybe soften those highlights on the legs just by brushing it off a little bit. Perfect. Loving. So what do I do next? The next thing that I do is simply select all my layers, hit Ctrl-J to make a copy of them, right click and then merge those layers, and then upon this particular layer I'm going to apply my alien skin. And that's pretty much the end of my edit. So it depends on what filter I want to use with my alien skin, will give the final result. So it's really good. Oh, look at that, that's stunning. Yeah. So that's sort of giving me more of a golden finish, which I really like. Again, my favourite alien skin filter happens to be the SX70 blend film. But if I don't want a gold finish, I sort of want more of a, I don't know, clean finish. Oh, my cat's here. Shush cat. Come here. Alright, so then I'll go through these ones. Ooh, no, black and white. I do like green highlights, that really brings things out. But not in this case. Boots? Come here, say hello. Okay. Alright, so what does this one look like? That looks nice. I still want a little bit more of a boost, so I'll go there. I'm going to stick to what I know best and simply go to my gold finish. So yeah, that's essentially what I do with alien skin. I simply play around with it, see what I like, and then I apply. Cat! I think I know what you're waiting for. I'm gonna keep it frozen here forever. There's no regretting anymore. It's worth the wait, even so far away. I'm making the night mine until the day I die. No lights to break when you're hanging by faith. You can then sort of take it into kind of highlights. essentially I'm looking for a dark look, so I'm going to leave it as is. It's going green. Let's go green. Now I'm just playing. You're more than welcome to log off now because I'm just playing right now. Okay, I think that's it. That's perfection. Love it. The second step I might take in this particular process is convert to black and white and see what the black and white looks like. So back to Camera Raw, go to my black and white, increase some contrast, increase some highlights. Do I want to get rid of detail? Do I want to add detail? It's up to you. Clarity, a little bit pointy. I never go above maybe 15% clarity. Voila! I think I like this one in black and white. And that's it. And then I simply run my save action. My save action is save as a PSD, save as a JPEG for my print, save as an sRGB for the client, and then save a web file. And then I delete them once I'm done. Or it's been delivered to the client. That's it. Alright, so we'll see you in the next video. Hope you like my edits. But again, my philosophy, get it right in camera. So you don't have to edit much. What you're looking for in post is simply to add your photo a boost and fix up the things that you can't fix up in camera. Until next time.